Welcome to the Getting Divorced Without Losing Your Mind podcast with Corey Shapiro. The quote is from Scott Young. The hard way is the easy way. My take on that is the hard way is sometimes the easy way. Sometimes we put all of our effort, our energy into settling matters and things just drag on. Sometimes we just need a decider, generally a judge, and instead of spending all that energy on fruitless settlement, spend it on preparing for trial. In news, I'm going to put a story about a guy in Chicago who is in prison, I think for over 6 months, for violating a civil order in your divorce or in his divorce. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but in a divorce court, it's a civil court, but they can put you in jail. It's an extreme remedy. It's not going to happen unless the court's really upset with you and you're doing something really wrong. What's wrong? Well, you're violating court orders. And you can read about what happened to this guy. Now, we can have a philosophical debate. Is it proper to put someone in jail with criminals for violating a civil order? The point is, the public policy is that we're protecting people in divorces. And for example, if you are not paying child support, the court's going to hammer you by putting you in jail. That's not the first thing they're going to do. They're going to warn you. They're going to, maybe make you do a payment plan. But at the end of the day, that is what's coming if you violate these orders in your divorce or in a child support case. So don't think just because you're in a civil case, a civil judge, they can't really throw the book at you. All right, question. How do I find out if my spouse is hiding money in my divorce? Well, this could be very challenging, and you might need an expert in more sophisticated cases, because I'm not sure how long someone is planning, and if there's cash involved or other type of assets that really rise in value, maybe it's possible to hide these assets. So I'm going to give you a list of few things I think about. These are not exhaustive, but this is things you can think about before hiring an expensive expert. First, take a look at the income tax returns. Is it accurate? Is it showing all the income you think your family makes? Is it underreporting income? Can you show the court that the lifestyle is much higher? So that could be a hidden asset. Take a look at the statement of net worth. Does it look suspicious? Are there assets being left off? Sometimes there's an innocent asset being left off. Oh, I forgot my childhood account. But maybe there's other assets. For example, I've been in many divorces where people who have international accounts for some reason don't believe they have to disclose international accounts on their statement of net worth. So when you're in a divorce in the United States, all of your assets, not just the assets that are in the United States. Okay. Another thing you could think about is underemployment. Your asset, earning capacity is an asset. So you can hide money by being underemployed. You can have a business. You don't have to work that hard. You can prepare for a divorce that way. You can try to overpay debts. That's going to reduce the assets available to distribute. So just overpay debts. Prepay the mortgage. See if they've done that. You can give gifts away, to family members. How about giving gifts to children, grandchildren, setting up college accounts? How about starting a new business, investing money in that business, and claiming that all that money that was invested is now gone? Is that hidden? Well, it's hard to prove. You could also, maybe this is something that happens more often than not. How about if you are able, how about delay payment of income, defer income until after the commencement of divorce action or even after the divorce is resolved? So as you can see, if someone really wants to hide money, you might need an expert to uncover it. And even if you get an expert, there's no guarantee you're going to find it. But for most people, you could try these things and hope you can, develop a trail to give to the court. At the end of the day, the court's going to look at lifestyle. They can look at circumstantial evidence. I don't have to necessarily have direct evidence. But if, for example, the lifestyle is $10,000 a month and the income only shows $5,000 a month, then the court is wondering how that difference is made up. All right, moving on to positive perspective. If you feel in your gut, in your heart, that your position is correct, and you really believe it, then what I would suggest is if your spouse is totally opposite, does not agree with you at all, then the only way to move forward may be to have a decider. And that's the reality of the situation. Now, if you have a decider, realize this decider is probably a judge. This decider may go against you. So do everything you can during your divorce litigation to put yourself in the best position where this decider, this judge, is going to look at the evidence fairly. And that's all you really want. You just want a fair shot. You want your day in court. You want to present your evidence, and you want the court to look at your evidence objectively. And to give yourself the best shot, you're going to be a good litigant. You're not going to send mean emails to your spouse during the divorce. You're not going to be sassy. You're going to be in court on time. You're going to follow court orders. You're going to follow discovery notice. You're going to turn over information. You're going to be polite to the court. So at the end of the day, when you finally get to a trial, and that could be many years after you commence a divorce action, all you're asking for the judge is look at the evidence, and you're hopeful that the judge is going to do the right thing. All right, remember, this podcast is for informational purposes only. Please consult with your attorney before acting on the information contained in this podcast. Until next time, be creative, not reactive.